What I do know is, regardless of what that poll says, we still want to root for the Phillies, and we don't really have good reasons why, but we're going to give you good reasons why, as a D-backs fan, you should feel a little bit better about rooting for the Phillies. Jesse?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'll say that apparently the Padres were having their hitters meeting just a few minutes ago, and Bob Melvin said that Austin Nola will have a significant say in their strategy as they go against Aaron Nola, right? You kind of figure the guy's brother is going to know a thing or two. So that was...
he's got a book this thick.
Yeah.
You know? He has, I've been keeping notes my whole life on this cat, you know?
So, yeah, I think it's interesting that Austin Nola is probably going to play some role in San Diego's attack against Aaron Nola tonight. But, yeah, as far as the Phillies are concerned, Aaron Nola is very good and Bryce Harper is very good.
Yes.
They have an elite player on both sides of the baseball. Aaron Nola is in the mix for the Cy Young Award. If you look at his peripherals, they're insane. He had a 3.6% walk rate this year, which is basically nothing. I mean, that's very close to the lowest in the league, if not the lowest in the league. And he strikes out tons of guys too. So Aaron Nola is like right up there with Zach Gallen as being one of the best pitchers in all of the National League. Bryce Harper missed some time with injury this year, but was still pretty much himself. And we've seen him have a monstrous postseason so far. Kyle Schwarber hits dingers for days. Doesn't do much else.
It's one of the biggest reasons why you should watch this team and be excited to root for them is they just have
488 feet, Derek. 119.7 miles an hour off the bat. That was Kyle Schwarber's home run into the second deck at Petco Park last night.
Yeah, these guys hit really, really hard. In fact, Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper both have the two hardest hit balls in the StatCast era for two different teams, both the Washington Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies. They just absolutely destroy the ball when they hit it. And I mean, I get it. Like the Phillies kind of get, from my perspective, they get, as we said before, the underdog, not the overdog or the updog role. But they get the underdog role based on the fact that they were a team that barely made it in to the playoffs. In any other year, they wouldn't have made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one thing to consider when it comes to this team and what they've done. It's very encouraging if you kind of can put aside the fact that they do have the fourth highest payroll in baseball.
Yeah, can we put up the payroll graphic
up again,
one more time? What exactly is the Phillies number? 255 million. They won 87 games. So Diamondbacks fans, if you want to win 13 more games next year, you have to do is spend $155 million more dollars.
That's it.
Yeah. The cost of winning 13 more games really isn't that high.
Could you imagine what they would do with $155 million more dollars in payroll?
Oh, we could do some podcasts about how they would spend $155 million.
Oh my God. But of course, one thing about this is that the Phillies do have guys. I mean, they do have that path that they made it there as being the last one in. And that is something that's fun for baseball. It's fun for teams like the Diamondbacks who are going to still struggle to win the National League West year after year, even going forward, right? So it's never going to be easy with the teams that are in this division, but it just goes to show, especially with the Dodgers' earlier exit, that it really doesn't matter. As long as you get in, you can make an impact in the playoffs. Now, of course, the caveat being $255 million spent, so I won't even get into that. But
isn't that crazy though? That like in some ways the Phillies genuinely bought them. They bought their way into the National League Championship Series. Like they're on the doorstep of the World Series, and there is not a lot of homegrown talent in that organization.
That's very true.
It's Rhys Hoskins plus a whole bunch of free agents. Aaron Nola also. Aaron Nola is a
$20 million men, basically.
Yeah, Aaron Nola is a homegrown guy, so I should give credit where credit's due there. But yeah, Zach Wheeler came from outside the organization. Bryce Harper, big free agent signing. JT Realmuto, free agent, right? Gene Segura, old friend of the Diamondbacks. Friend of the podcast. We've not had Gene Segura on yet, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
We like
Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos. The list goes on. All of these guys came in as free agents, and you can see what money can do for you, right? Like the Phillies are probably not as good as they should be given how much money they spend. But if you're on the doorstep of the World Series like they are, that's what spending that kind of money can get you. And I don't think they have any regrets about that right now.
If you're still on the fence about deciding whether or not to root for the Philadelphia Phillies, I'll give you one more fact.
Oh,
Phoenix and Philly, the only two major cities in the United States that begin with PH. Just saying.
the only
Just saying.
major cities in the United
there's a
States?
couple of others.
Are there others?
There's a Phoenixville in Pennsylvania that's very close to Philadelphia.
Really?
So if you want to even give you another reason, there is a Phoenix in New York as well.
Oh.
So there's Phoenixes other places. We're talking about major cities.
Major cities. Okay.
No offense to those small cities or any of our viewers.